bring this conversation down to, I guess you might call a more human level. These are very esoteric ideas that we're talking about. They might seem like, oh, maybe this is just the kind of stuff that philosophers talk about. Does any of this matter? Does any of this matter in terms of how we think about our lives, in terms of how we construct our sense of meaning or purpose or our place in the world, how we conceptualize the nature of the mind-body problem or consciousness? Why should I care about this? Ned?
So, the kind of debates that I'm involved in really come down to the question of whether consciousness and cognition are different things. So two of the four main theories of consciousness really assimilate consciousness to cognition. Basically, they're theories according to which consciousness is really a kind of thinking. I think it matters hugely to our self-conception.
What about animals? I mean, aren't they conscious?
But they're thinking too. The higher order thought theory says that that reduces the consciousness of animals to their higher order thoughts. And babies too. So my view is that it really makes a tremendous difference to how we think about ourselves if we think that we are basically thinking things, or if we think, on the other hand, that we are beings that both think and feel, and that those are equally important.
Okay. Rebecca, why does this matter?
Why does this matter? Well, one reason it matters is people seem to be afraid of death, right? They have a creaturely fear of death. And this question relates very much to whether it's even conceivable that we could survive our death. I mean,
whether consciousness exists after our physical bodies die. Is this
even in the realm? I said that one of the things that philosophers try to do is to take to map out the configuration space. What are the space of possibilities given what science is telling us? I mean, if you really do believe, as I do believe, and I think it's that consciousness is the brain, it's not in the realm of possibility.
So just to follow up on that line of thinking, you're saying basically if you take the physicalist view that, the mind is what the brain does, you end up with atheism.
Even though we can't for the hell of us figure out how it does this, but nevertheless, I think we have pretty good evidence that it's the brain that's doing it. It just doesn't, it's not a possibility. And that makes a tremendous difference, a tremendous emotional difference to the way you live your life. I mean, meaning, purpose. There are, people who are striving to, their whole life is aimed toward a future state after their life, the afterlife, and, to get their just rewards, their just punishments, and to meet their loved ones. And I mean, it permeates my entire life that I don't believe that I believe that this life is the only life that I'm ever going to have, and the people that I love, I will not meet again. And I just can't think of anything that matters more to me.
Can I say something about that?
Mm-hmm.
One of the scientific ideas about consciousness is that it's basically an informational thing. And if that's true, then uploading your consciousness to a machine makes sense. And so that would really fit very well with Rebecca's idea.
I don't want it.
You don't want your consciousness uploaded.
That's not the kind of afterlife I want.
Whereas if that's false and we're all uploading our consciousness, we're turning ourselves into zombies and we don't realize it.
Exactly. So we do want to find out whether it's true or not.
I mean,
but this is fascinating.
Yes.
These issues that you were raising. I mean, because there are profound religious implications, right, for this. And Philip, I mentioned at the beginning that you were working on a book now that sort of explores this in between state between religious belief and atheism, and where do you come out on some of these issues?
Yeah, so this isn't just an abstract intellectual puzzle. I think consciousness is at the root of human identity. I think everything that matters in life comes from consciousness, from deep emotions, subtle thoughts, beautiful sensory experiences. I'm inclined to think, controversially, that our official scientific worldview, materialism, is actually incompatible with the existence of consciousness. And if that's right, we're at a very strange period of history where our official worldview is incompatible with the thing that is most evident and also the thing that gives life meaning and significance. So, and I think people feel that, and so I think that can lead to a deep sense of alienation, a sense that we don't fit into the world that science tells us about. So, ultimately we should be interested, not in the view we'd like to be true, but the view that's most likely to be true. The great thing about panpsychism is not only is it probably true, but I think it's slightly better for our mental and spiritual health, I think, because it can accommodate both the scientific truth, but also the things that give life meaning and significance.
So I'm going to ask the same question to each of you, but then I'm going to throw it to the audience here. So get ready for your questions. I want to bring this to a more personal level. I mean, all of you have been studying these issues, these ideas for years, for decades. At a personal level, at a daily level, how you conceptualize, how you go through the world, has this changed anything for you as you've dug into these issues? I mean, do you live any differently now? Ned?
Well, I'm certainly passionate about these issues, so maybe that's one way.
As a scholar, yes.
Yeah.
But any other way?
Not sure any other way.
Okay. Rebecca?
I'm awed by the fact that matter can do what it does. I'm simply awed that somehow or other matter, about which I agree with Philip, I think matter is tremendously mysterious. I think consciousness is mysterious. I think matter is also extremely mysterious.
What is mysterious about matter?
We don't, as Philip had said, we have our access into matter has come by way of mathematics. So we have this structural view of it, right? We understand matter in motion. Anything that we can describe in mathematical language, this is, all of our physical terms can be reduced to this, right? And, you have to know math in order to do physics. So that can't be the whole story of what matter is. So
coming back to, how does this affect you personally then?
Well, somehow matter does this, right? I mean, matter, which I was as an undergraduate, I majored in physics. And the physics is extraordinary and it's extremely exciting, but it can't tell you how matter manages this incredible feat of waking up to the world. It's not just in the world, but the world exists for it, right? And not to say that the world was created for it, but that there is, that there is a way for each conscious thing. There is a way that they are feeling about being in the world. They're awake to it. It's an incredible thing. The difference between matter that's conscious and matter that isn't conscious is an extraordinary difference. We can't explain it. And it has ethical implications. If in fact, these material objects have anything like consciousness, then we're abusing them, right? I mean, I would have to worry about sitting on this chair or all the other things that I do to material things. So it's just a huge difference between things that are conscious and things that aren't, and that somehow, some way, matter manages to do this. Just fills me with it first hit me when I was an undergraduate, when I was studying physics, that we have no idea how matter does this, and it is just filled me with awe ever since, that somehow it does it.
I better turn to you, Philip. How does this affect your daily life?
Yeah, I think I've had quite a strange personal journey on these. I talk a little bit about it in my book, Galileo's Error. So when I was at university, we were taught the only two options were materialism or dualism, and I initially wanted to defend materialism, thought it was the scientifically credible option, eventually became persuaded that it's incompatible with the reality of conscious experience. So I decided I didn't have any conscious experience and, really tried to live that out. I think I managed about 3 months. And then, I just had this experience sitting in a bar with adrenaline, and just couldn't do it anymore, couldn't live in bad faith, couldn't deny my own conscious experience. And then after that, I didn't know, wasn't taught of any alternatives. I think after that I was a sort of closet dualist, just, keeping it to myself. And I wrote my end of undergraduate dissertation saying the problem was unsolvable, and went off and tried to do something else. Lived in Poland for a bit, tried to forget about it. Tried to read some science, the things that did make sense. Yeah, so, some people think because I'm into panpsychism, I like mystery. I hate mystery. I want to get rid of it. That's, But actually just coming across panpsychism and just think, oh my God, that kind of makes sense. That, preserves the scientific side of things and the evident reality of conscious experience in a quite simple, elegant way. And, the intellectual piece of finding a picture of the world that kind of makes sense and that you can kind of live in.